We'd like to proudly introduce our Vice President of Communications and also the City Councilman for the City of Phoenix, Michael Nowakowski. Michael, are you ready?
Buenos dias. Good morning. How's everybody doing? This is an exciting day, especially for the Abeytia family. Do we have any Abeytias out there? This is like a family reunion. You know, first of all, I really want to thank our board members. We have Danny Ortega. Where are you at? Danny Ortega right back there. One of our board members for the Cesar Chavez Foundation. We also have Gloria Munoz. Where's Gloria? If you could please stand up, Gloria. We also have present today is the president of the Cesar Chavez Foundation, Paul Chavez. Just standing here. A true leader ahead of his time. And then we have members of our staff from the Cesar Chavez Foundation. If we can have the individuals from the education department, please stand up and be recognized. All right. In our funding department, Gina and her staff, please stand up and get recognized. Thank you, Gina. And then we have a folks of the property management, the individuals that make sure that all these properties are kept beautiful and nice and maintained. Alfonso and her staff, please stand up and get recognized. Thank you. And our communications director, Mark Grossman. And last but not least, Radio Campesina, all the Campesina staff. We have a tradition, and then we also have a council member, Sal DeCiccio, that's here with us. And we have our acting city manager, Ed Zerker, also with us. We at the Cesar Chavez Foundation, we have a tradition throughout the movement is to always start off any meeting, any get-together, or any dedication with the farm worker prayer. This prayer is not just a prayer, it's a way of life. It's the way that I believe that Cesar Chavez has spread his mission and vision through a prayer form. So we're going to have our board member, Gloria Munoz, come up and lead us in the farm worker prayer.
So can I have everyone stand, please? And you do have a copy of the prayer in your program, and I'd like you to follow along if you can. I will say the verse, and if I could have you repeat it. Show me the suffering of the most miserable, so I will know my people's plight. Free me to pray for others, for you are present in every person. Help me take responsibility for my own life so I can be free at last.
Help me take responsibility for my own life so I can be free at last.
Grant me courage to serve others, for in service there is true life.
Grant me courage to serve others, for in service there is true life.
Give me honesty and patience so that I can work with other workers.
Give me honesty and patience so that I can work with other workers.
Bring forth song and celebration so that the Spirit will be alive among us.
Bring forth song and celebration so that the Spirit will be alive among us.
Let the Spirit flourish and grow so that we will never tire of the struggle.
Let the Spirit flourish and grow so that we will never tire of the struggle.
Let us remember those who have died for justice, for they have given us life.
Let us remember those who died for justice, for they have given us life.
Help us love even those who hate us, so we can change the world.
Help us love even those who hate us, so that we can change the world.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gloria. That's what it's all about, the Cesar Chavez Foundation, is how do we change the world? How do we change the world one person at a time, or one senior at a time, by providing affordable housing for those individuals that worked all their lives. And when they retire to a Social Security check that they can't afford to rent an apartment. They can't afford to get their prescription drugs. So that's why we build these affordable housing. So 20 years ago, a great man passed away, Cesar Chavez. But to pick up his legacy and to continue that legacy, to continue to make sure that the needy are taken care of, to make sure that the voice of the voiceless are out there through Campesina, to make sure that families that need housing, that need a place to live, that they were equipped with affordable housing, good quality housing. Not just a house, but building communities and changing people's lives, making sure that our kids had higher education. And through that education, we would change poverty, domestic violence, and gang violence. And that person that's leading us in that march is Paul Chavez, the president of the Cesar Chavez Foundation. The president.
Thanks, Michael. Good morning to everybody. Good morning. You know, Michael was just mentioning that it's been 20 years since my father passed away, and one of the things that has surprised us, and and it also means a lot to us, is that he continues to be remembered in communities across the country. I think there's 11 states that now have the Cesar Chavez holiday. Last year, the Navy dedicated its newest cargo ship, the USNS Cesar Chavez, the first naval vessel ever named after a Latino, after my father, and that was done in San Diego Bay on Cinco de Mayo. And then last October, we hosted President Obama at La Paz, where many of you have visited. It's a place where my father lived and worked for the last 23 years of his life, where he's buried. And President Obama came to dedicate the Cesar Chavez National Monument, which was also an important event for us who worked to continue my father's work. But the funny thing is that as we've gone around and we've talked to people, people are coming up and they talk about how my father has been a hero to them and kind of put him on a pedestal. And I can't help but to think how my father would have rejected that. He never saw himself as a hero. As a matter of fact, he was always uncomfortable with any type of personal recognition. He rarely let anybody name anything after him. And actually, one of the few things that he did was that here at Arizona State, he accepted an honorary degree from ASU. So that was one of the few things he did, but normally he was very uncomfortable with that kind of stuff. And I think that was because he understood that he didn't do that work by himself, that there was countless of people from all walks of life that made tremendous sacrifices. And he knew that there were many Cesar Chavez's involved in his work. And so I think that was one of the reasons why he was uncomfortable with receiving that type of personal recognition. But one of the things that we've done to help ensure that people understand that his work wasn't done by himself is we've begun this tradition in the movement where we name new projects and new efforts after people that have made tremendous sacrifices to La Causa. And so today's celebration, today's dedication reminds us of all of those countless people that made these sacrifices, whose names are largely lost to history. And at the top of that list surely has to be the Abeytia family. My father, he talked about the difference between being of service and being a servant. He said that being of service are those people, those good, decent people that in their everyday lives commit acts of generosity and charity towards others. But he talked about being of service, being something much more, being a servant, being something much more profound. He said that it took a real personal commitment to do that. And so, he said that being a servant required that you give yourself to a cause that's bigger than yourself. And so when we sat there and we thought about who would fit this bill, the Abeytia family came to mind again. We remember, I was talking to my mom before I came in, and I was telling her about the dedication today, and she began to talk about the old days. And it reminded us that this family went back. I mean, the relationship with my father began way before he began building the the United Farm Workers in Delano. It started in the 50s in San Jose, and with the CSO, and we were talking about the 5J market in San Jose, where I think half of the people in this crowd worked right during the summer. But you know, the fact is that the Abeytias have been one of the strongest and most steadfast families that have ever supported this movement. And they've done it in good times and in bad times. You know, they often provided shelter and relief to my father, but not just to my father, but to the people that worked alongside him. You know, they were there during the bitter strikes and those long drawn out boycotts and campaigns and recalls here in the state of Arizona, right? And so they really gave themselves unselfishly to the cause. Some of them worked full time with the movement, you know, basically taking a vow of poverty during that period, living a subsistence lifestyle. And then after his passing, others continued to work to ensure that his legacy remained, you know, burned brightly in the lives and minds of people. And so we're very, very appreciative of that. And that's why for us, the naming of this beautiful new facility for low and very low-income seniors after the Abeytia is a measure of thanks that we owe you for your commitment and sacrifice throughout the years. So on behalf of the foundation, we want to thank you all very much for that. You know, I was looking at the plaque here, and I know that we single out 8 members of the family. It was so big that had we done everybody, we would have had to wrap the building probably 4 or 5 times. But I want you all to know that Paseo Abeytia really recognizes all of the members of the Abeytia family that have been so giving and unselfish with their time and support. You know, my father knew that the farm worker movement was bigger than any single individual. He knew that. Oops. Can I get that? I think that's my father clapping and He knew that the movement was built on the legacy of people like the Abeytia family. And my dad was always blessed. He always felt blessed for the loyalty and support of such men and women. And those of us that continue his work feel the same way. So thank you all very much.
As Paul talked about, it's a team effort. And a part of that team is our Executive Vice President of Housing and Development, Alfredo Nowakowski. Come on.
Good morning, everyone. I want to thank you all for coming out for this special event. Grand openings are those special moments. They're very gratifying because this is when we get to celebrate all the good work of the Cesar Chavez Foundation, but also of all the partners that we need to make these type of developments a reality for the communities that we serve. Our goal in the Housing and Economic Development Department is to develop not only housing but commercial developments that support communities, create jobs, create opportunities for families to stay in the communities that they grew up in, allow seniors to stay in the areas that they worked, lived, and stay with their families. And so we're very happy for all of you to come out. When I think of Cesar Chavez, I think about how we talked about the dignity of working people. And these types of developments are an acknowledgement of that. You know, people who live here are the people who worked in these communities, educating our children, building our homes, getting the food for our tables, doing all the things that we expect them to do as part of our community and should be rewarded for that. And so this is a small thank you from the foundation to those members of the community who have done so much over the years to make this area a better place for all of us. Now, as I mentioned, housing and economic development does not work alone. We get out and work with stakeholders in the neighborhoods, in the community, talking to people, finding out what the needs are, and then working together to come up with the idea, the vision of a Paseo Abeytia. And once we have that vision, we started working on finding those partners who would, like us, want to make a positive impact in the communities that we serve. So we'd like to thank those partners today, mainly our financial partners, but also our development team. So So if you guys don't mind, I'd like to acknowledge a few of those folks here with us. First off, when we talk about Paseo Abeytia, I'd like to thank the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD. We have some folks here from there. Thank you very much. They were a prime funder of this development. And again, as you walk through and you see the beautiful type of construction, we really do thank them for that support. Another significant great partner for us over the years, not only in this development but in others as well, is the City of Phoenix, who provided financial assistance as well, our city partners. So let's say thank you. And finally, we also received a grant from the National Bank of Arizona. I don't know if anyone's here from the bank today, but again, all of these partners came together to provide the financing to make this a reality for us today. So let's say thank you to the National Bank of Arizona. Like I said, each of these partners contributed not only the financing, but the vision, the idea, what we wanted to strive for in terms of the quality, and how we would work with the neighborhood to make sure that not only are we building housing, but that we're also creating a standard for the neighborhood so people can see what is possible, what can we achieve together, and then have other people in the neighborhood and in the community see this and strive to create similar types of developments that uplifts the whole neighborhood and the communities that we serve. At this point, I would also like to take some time to invite people up for some awards. Again, like I said, we are financial partners, but also development partners. So if you guys give me a moment, let's go ahead and first invite up our friends from the Department of Housing and Urban Development, Stephanie Snellman. We created these plaques. Again, these are just small tokens of our appreciation, showing the efforts of working together and just a little memento of this beautiful day and this beautiful day. So thank you very much. I would like at this point to invite up Daniel Valenzuela from the City of Phoenix to accept their award. National Bank of Arizona, is anyone here from the bank at this point? No? Okay, well, we'll mail them their award. We also had quite a few professional partners who helped us with the design, the construction, and I'd like to acknowledge some of those folks right now. STG Design Incorporated was our architects. Is STG here? All right. You can thank them for the beautiful building. It came out very nice. Thank you guys. Our land consultants were Metro Land Consultants, LLC. Is anyone from Metro here? No. Tofo Construction was the firm that built this property with us. Is anyone from Tofo available? Thank you. And is anyone here from Wilderman Paralegal Services? They were our consultants helping us put the financing together and all the legal documentation for that. Okay, I think we'll have to send Patty hers separately as well. I'd like to acknowledge now some staff who put their, not only their work, but their heart into this project. It took several years to take that vision I talked about, work out all the details, go through all the brain damage, put it together, and then come up with this great concept. So it took a lot of folks that, I always talk about development being a relay race, where maybe the first person who started it doesn't come to the finish line, but they were definitely part of it. Gloria Munoz is here. She's a board member now, but she started this back in the day. Gloria, you want to stand up and come and say thank you? I'm looking for Jeannie Redondo and Ramona Aceves, who were with the foundation, who started this project. I don't see them in the crowd, but their tireless work, hours of dedication really came off, and we want to express our thank you for that. Jackie Rodarte and is Jackie out there? Way in the back is the project manager who finished this project. And Rich Rollins was in our construction management group. Rich, where are you? Way back, hiding in the corner over there. He was the one who made sure he was built. Thank you for that. I also want to acknowledge Alfonso Trujillo and our property management team. Alfonso, you guys stand up. Everyone contributes with their expertise, their knowledge, and I think the end result shows that. And so we want to thank them for that. So at this point, I may have forgot a few folks. A lot of people have touched this project, but we want to thank you again for all your support in coming out for this grand opening for Paseo Abeytia. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Alfredo. And this is really done by all the different partnerships that we have. And one of the partnerships that we have is with the City of Phoenix. At this time, I'd like to invite Councilmember Danny Valenzuela and also Councilmember Sal DeCiccio up to the podium. And Danny chairs our Neighborhood Services and Housing Subcommittee. Also, we would like to have Barbara and Sylvia come on up. And this is special for the City of Phoenix because Sylvia served so many years in the City of Phoenix in the City Manager's office and has helped change a lot of lives in the City of Phoenix and has mentored a lot of our employees. And to have Sylvia be a part of this celebration is an honor for the City of Phoenix. And Sylvia, we just really want to thank you for everything you've done for the City of Phoenix and for the Cesar Chavez Foundation, creating the luncheon that became a breakfast, that became a dinner, and now the legacy continues. So thank you for everything you've done for the Cesar Chavez Foundation.
So I appreciate the opportunity. I actually have a proclamation that I will not read the entire proclamation. The mayor is very wordy. Mayor Stanton regrets not being able to be here, but obviously has a commitment to housing, to senior housing, to housing here in the City of Phoenix, and ask that we would read this proclamation on his behalf. Before I do that, I will just say, leave it to the Cesar Chavez Foundation to have a tent full of community advocates, bringing the best of our community together for a project like this. Between the Cesar Chavez Foundation, the City of Phoenix, and HUD, this is the second senior housing program that has come up in just the past 9 months. So congratulations. Please give Paul and the family a round of applause. I'll read part of it here. The City of Phoenix has a rich history built from the work of remarkable families. One of these in particular, the Abeytia family, selflessly contributed to the farm worker communities and sacrificed much for Cesar Chavez's movement. Beginning in the 1950s and spanning for several generations across 3 states, the entire Abeytia family has found a way to leave their mark on Phoenix. Today, a new generation of Abeytia family members includes social workers, educators, nurses, public servants, and political leaders. They carry on their family's legacy of activism and community dedication. Paseo Abeytia, which bears the family name, is a symbol of community pride and will provide a better life for those who live there. Now, therefore, I, Greg Stanton, Mayor of the City of Phoenix, Arizona, do hereby proclaim November 15th, 2013 as Familia Abeytia Day. To the family, congratulations. To all involved, congratulations. God bless all of you to have this beautiful facility opened up before the holidays here in 2013. Thank you. As we have one of our champions here who's very involved with the Cesar Chavez Foundation, and Councilman Nowakowski, it does take a team. All of us are working on this together. There are certain things in the city council, sometimes people would say even few things. I disagree with that, but there are things that we unanimously agree that are important things, and this is one of those things. And here to share a few words is Councilman Cesar.
It's not about the things, but it's about the families and all about the people who are able to put things together. We have a great working relationship on the City of Phoenix. Sometimes if you listen to the media, it's not always like that, but it's not true. Michael has been a champion. Your family has been a champion throughout the years, and for me, it's an honor just to be here, to be able to say, thank you for all the work that you've done for the City of Phoenix. The fact that you have Mr. Chavez coming out, I mean, that's pretty big. I got my picture taken with him. I thought that was my a while back, I just have to tell you just a little funny story. They already read the proclamation, so I can just kind of talk like I do sometimes. It's the Italian thing. But I had my kids take a picture with Paul Chavez when they had the dinner that Michael had put together, and Gloria and others, and the dinner you put together, Sylvia. And so I had to take the picture into school, because I just thought it was kind of cool. And they're like, how'd you get that? And all the teachers were amazed at it. But it's just a history that we have, and it's all done because people do work together. And it's all done because of all the people out here in the room and your entire family that was able to pull things together and make this city a fantastic city that we all live in. Muchas gracias para todo. Gracias para todo que hace en esta comunidad.
Wow, you guys have your own day now. Well, you better look out. They're going to work for a holiday next, right? We talk about all the different partnerships. One of the biggest partnerships that we have is with HUD. And we have a representative here with us, Stephanie, that's going to come up and talk a little bit about our partnership with HUD. Come on down. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me to this happy occasion today. I would like to acknowledge the HUD staff that is present. Nicole Green-Catton, she's our architect from HUD. She's over there. I'd also like to acknowledge the staff that isn't here that helped make this possible, because we're all in it together. We all have the same goals. Thank you to Cesar Chavez Foundation. They are one of our great partners, and this is always the best exciting part of it, is coming and seeing the results. And I don't know how you guys do it, but it gets better and better and better every time I come. So I want to wish the residents the best of luck in the future and best wishes for everything that they do. Thank you.
And next to the podium is Mark Grossman, that served with Cesar Chavez as his press speechwriter, and also a good friend for 24 years, and has actually lived and walked with Cesar for those 24 years. He and the Abeytia family are very close, and I like to introduce at this time, I'd like to
Thank you, Michael, I think. I knew Ernie, Hector, and Ray Abeytia before I realized that they were brothers. When Fernando Chavez, Cesar's oldest son, and I were college students, we often visited Fernando's grandparents, Cesar's parents, in the East San Jose barrio of Salsipuedes. On Sunday morning, Cesar's mother, Juana Chavez, would hand us an olla, a pot, and would send us to Ernie Abeytia's little corner grocery store to get menudo. Soon, Ernie came within a hair's breadth of becoming the first Latino north of the Tehachapi Mountains to be elected to the state legislature. And through his community and political activism, Ernie inspired a generation of Latino activists. I knew Hector Abeytia from Cesar as a pioneer in farm labor organizing going back to the early 1960s. When Cesar's longest march of 1,000 miles made its way up the Central Coast in 1975, there was Ray Abeytia offering hospitality and support. I later came to know Pete and Eleanor Abeytia, Benny and Sylvia and the rest of the family. When Ray Abeytia was dying in 1979, he and Cesar talked on the phone for a while. Cesar was so moved by Ray's courage and grace that he asked Barbara and I to take a letter from him to read at the funeral services. In the letter, Cesar quoted from the novelist Ernest Hemingway, who wrote, "Every man's life ends the same way. It is only the details of how he lived and how he died that distinguish one man from another." The same could be said of many other Abeytias too. When that 1,000-mile march hit Delano in 1975, Cesar and I walked into the lobby of the United Farm Workers field office at the 40 acres outside Delano. And there was Barbara Abeytia in the midst of the union's biggest organizing drive. Barbara later put herself through college and has dedicated her life as a cancer nurse, aiding the sickest of patients. In her spare time, she helps immigrants and the homeless through her parish church. She's been a great mother to our 3 sons, Joshua, Aaron, and Matthew.
You had to wait for it. It was worth it.
After Paul Chavez and Danny Ortega, Gloria Munoz, the rest of the Cesar Chavez Foundation Board of Directors unanimously voted to name this beautiful senior community Paseo Abeytia, Paul asked me to call Barbara and Sylvia and to let them know. They were very emotional. It was an emotional time. Their mother had recently passed away, and Sylvia's beloved husband, Russell Whitman, had just unexpectedly passed away too. But I realized that they were also moved by this gesture, because rarely has a family contributed so much and sacrificed so much and selflessly committed itself so much over so many years on behalf of this great cause. So now it is